Hello and welcome to another update video about Fantom. A lot of people ask me for a Fantom update because understandably it's getting hammered down at the moment. It is one of the more volatile cryptocurrencies and it is one that took quite a long time eventually to get into my target area here in blue for the first time. Found support at $1.03 and turned around. I told you back then that in my opinion Fantom is going to come down once more to the 88-cent level, or 87. I think I might not have picked the exact low. I think it was 87. There you go. Which is the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level. We haven't reached it yet. Fantom only spent a very, very little time in this target area and moved out of it together with many other cryptos. The problem is that it, as I said before, turned around, in my opinion, in the middle of nowhere. Ideally, you want to find support at a Fibonacci level in these kinds of higher level degree corrections, and the next Fibonacci support level would be at 87 cents. So I think this is still what I told you already back in February and March would be an ideal target for the correction. Bear in mind, I told you already about these levels when we were here in January and just trying to make new all-time highs. This is where I took profits. I made you aware here in this region. I think that was fantastic. After that, we moved down, yeah, and we already started the correction. Then obviously I had a few news that triggered, that were the catalyst for the sell-off. But as I always say, news can have a short-term impact, but in my opinion, that sell-off would have happened anyway. As you can see now, we are getting as many other cryptos into these price regions. The only reason that this target area doesn't start at the 78.6 is that we have to come down below the wave A, and because Fantom was very late in this B wave and it moved up very high, therefore I started higher with that target area. So typically, you know, what we can see here is the first wave of Fantom, and this is the second wave down, consisting of an A, B, C. And again, you can bear in mind, you can imagine how difficult it was for me to talk about these price levels down here around $1 when we were just going to $3 and above. You know, I had comments about being crazy and whatever, but that is what it is. You typically, sure, many people burned their fingers up here. Well, what we did on this channel was take profits and starting to buy down here. That is what I'm doing, starting to dollar cost average in, knowing though that we could move down even lower. An ideal level would be that 87 cents here. I think Fantom would have a great opportunity to turn around, but there is still space in this target region. So if that level gets broken at 87 cents, we could even move down to 53. That would be the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level, 53 cents. And I think you could compare that with Cardano's 30-cent level, with Solana's $30 level, yeah. So there is still more space. And if Bitcoin really, really moves into the range between 20 and 29K, as I primarily expect, we could see that play out. And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't need to spend a lot of time there. It could just be a wick down. But I think this would be significant buying area. We have a very difficult sentiment at the moment in the world, very insecure financial markets. That, of course, has an impact on cryptocurrencies. What I repeatedly say is that I think we haven't seen that capitulation phase that you typically need to see in this sort of these markets. We haven't seen that capitulation, and that is when people exit the market, they panic sell, and we haven't seen that yet. I think we're getting closer now, especially here in the last few days. While Bitcoin, and that is quite interesting. I mean, when Bitcoin made the 33K low, I think weren't we here with Fantom, or even here? So we are dropping lower despite Bitcoin actually holding higher. So again, a lot of people always say you only need to look at Bitcoin. No, you don't need to look only at Bitcoin. Every market, every asset moves in its own waves. Yes, some can be very similar to Bitcoin, but Fantom is a prime example that it's moving completely different than Bitcoin is. Of course, it is sort of affected when Bitcoin moves down, but you see completely different waves here. It made nearly a new all-time high here in January, whereas Bitcoin made a new all-time high in November. So it completely is, yeah, I wouldn't say completely decoupled from Bitcoin, but you can see an example here where we are doing fairly completely different things, right? So very important support here for Fantom. The next important support will of course be here, and we reached it pretty much already nearly, $1.03. This is where we had the previous low for Fantom, and I expect some support here as well. Yeah, we already broke below $1.30 or $1.15. This was very, very important low as well. That was the wave A low, and that is where this target area started. This was broken, so this is actually quite a bearish sign. Now the next decision will be here at $1.03. Are we going to hold it, or are we going to crash down lower? And then I think if we lose the $1.03, then here there was a bit of support here around 95 cents before. That was back in September, but then you could really see that 87 cents, and we would finally get there. On the daily, we are not yet oversold, and that is what I find quite interesting. Despite all these price drops, Fantom is not yet oversold. So even here, when we made that swing low back in March, it wasn't oversold. Many other cryptos were massively oversold. And I guess that is because it did its near all-time high here back in January. So we were nearly making a new all-time high. The indicators were very high, and it took them a while to get down now, to move down. So we are we still have space on the downside. That is what I try to communicate here on the 4-day chart as well, making nearly a new lower low here on the RSI as well. The 4-day chart the momentum turned down as well. So yeah, that is my view on Fantom. I think further downside potential, as I said, the indicators are turning down as well, and the sentiment doesn't seem to be in Fantom's favor at the moment. So generally, there is much more space for further downside, but very important support expected here around the $1.03 mark, with the potential of a short-term reversal. Of course, always wait for a signal. Signal could be a green candle, an engulfing green candle. Yeah, absolutely. But at the moment, we are in the downtrend still. And to the upside, very important levels would be, you can see it on the chart here. I think we would have to get above the previous swing high, that is $1.66, to really be more confident that that downtrend is over. We need to take the previous swing high out in order to make higher highs and also make a higher low. And then we can be more certain that the downtrend is over. For now, we haven't done it yet. The problem is the price is that 166 level is quite far away. And the reason for that is because Fantom is so volatile. Yeah, it's great for swing trading, but it is so volatile. And at the moment, the downtrend is still at play. Okay, that is my view on Fantom. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you really like the content, check out the channel membership, and also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And for both, you can find the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.